I'm still experimenting on how to do these videos off the cuff. I'm calling them reaction videos. I want them to have a different consistency from some of my more prepared content. Really, there's a lot of reasons why I started this channel. I'm still putting all those thoughts together to create an intro video. But I used to post a lot on Facebook. And the reason why I would do it is just to get these thoughts out of here. And if you post them on social media, I feel like I get them out of my head and they're out into the world it wouldn't be the same feeling if I just took them from my head and just put them on my iPad. So, I just got coworkers, friends on there. Everybody's not into politics. So it just wasn't the forum for it. It was really more for me. And then, so I was like, you know what, let me just do some videos. The reaction video is my way of saying I don't do a ton of edits. Literally, I'm writing what I would write on Facebook and reciting it or reading it, or going off the head, ranting or rambling. Appreciate you listening and giving this channel a chance. I want all of our elected officials gone. Every single one of them. There are officials that I respect. Not that I agree all the time with them. I respect them for different reasons. Like I like and respect Ted Cruz. Don't agree on everything. Rand Paul. I did a video where I criticized Rand Paul, but I like Rand Paul. I really liked his father, Ron Paul. Lauren Underwood, I bring her up. She is the essence of what a congresswoman should be. So I don't say this lightly. AOC, Bernie, others I like. They all should be gone. In my opinion, expelled. I don't even know it's not going to happen, so who cares about the logistics? But they need to be gone, expelled, impeached, removed. All of them. I mean, I'm talking about all of them. Every member of the House and the Senate. So 535 members need to be replaced. They need to be gone. And this is in the aftermath of the Capitol getting breached. I was chatting about it with my family and people online as well. And one of the topics of discussion is, imagine if every one of the protesters was black. Imagine if it was all black people rushing into the Capitol in a hostile manner. How would it have been different? I think that's a fair question. I understand why the question's there. But if that is our biggest takeaway from yesterday, then we are part of the problem. If my biggest takeaway, I'm big on big picture. So something happens, I dig into the minutia because I have a very analytical mind, but I don't want to present minutia. I want to present what's the big takeaway after putting the puzzle pieces together. And if I look at all the puzzle pieces from yesterday, and my big takeaway from my video for you guys and for everyone is, look how different it would have been if it was black people. I would be part of the problem. That is not the takeaway. Rightfully so. Whatever differences I have with the Black Lives Matter movement or whatever, I'm not for it. But put that aside. I respect that people say, don't focus on the riots and the burning and the destruction. Focus on why that happened. I agree completely. That's what we need to focus on. I'm all for that. So why don't we do the same thing about yesterday? It's fair to ask the question, but damn it, that's not the takeaway. Don't put race onto everything. We can talk about it, but don't make it about race. It's bigger than that. So I'm gonna jump around here. This moment, what really upset me and why I want every member of Congress gone, and I've talked about concerns about stimulus not being passed, taking too long, and even if you think stimulus is not fiscally responsible, I'm fine with that, but at least talking to people and making the case for it. There is none of that. And on top of it, after yesterday, I stayed up late and I saw almost every single senator's, and I had to jump around, so I didn't see everyone's, but I saw a lot of the speeches in the after. That was really important for me because they had prepared speeches before the Capitol got breached. What were they going to say afterwards? Some of them didn't even change their speech. They just added some ad libs in there. But I listened to a lot of them. And there is no one in Congress fighting with their political career, with the passion, putting their neck out there for this moment, saying, let's dig in to what happened. Forget about Trump. I understand there's problems with Trump. Trump has done some terrible things. But let's look into it. There is 535 of us in Congress, and you're blaming one man? No one. No one is fighting. I know there's some people who have said some statement. Ted Cruz had a great speech. I know there have been some people who stuck their neck out there a little bit, but not, I mean, like sticking it out there. Like this is not right. Like every single day, sticking their neck out. No one's doing that. What does that look like to me? That's, to me, it's saying, okay, let's move beyond Orange Man bad or Orange Man really, really bad. Forget about the election. I didn't hear anyone say, let's do a commission to study, not, I know there's concerns about the police letting people in. No, let's do a commission to study how we got there with hundreds of people who have no hope for the future, have despair, that angry on a weekday, moving, planning, ready, bringing guillotines and nooses. Why did that happen? Why? That's what we need to look at. So do you need to do a commission? No election, just a commission on what happened. So what I mean is involving psychologists, economists. What's the mental state? What are the consequences of lockdowns? Did that play a role in this? If our economy was booming, would the civil rights the protests with George Floyd happen? Would these happen? I'm not saying the protests were bad. I'm just saying we need to study what happened beyond Donald Trump. We're seeing Facebook. I know Facebook for sure has indefinitely banned Donald Trump. And that should be part of the study as well. What are the effects of the media? What are the effects of big tech and social media? So big tech and social media are censoring things. Is that good or bad? What is the effect of that on our society? Especially during lockdowns where you're not really out as much in most places. More things are virtual, more things are on TV. So what's the effect? What happens if Facebook bans Donald Trump? What happens? Well, okay, maybe there's some positive because some of the negative posts are gone. But what else happens? Maybe it chases people to more seedy parts of the internet. Maybe it makes people distrust media even more. Maybe it breeds more anger in the type of person that you saw yesterday than help things. Now, I don't know what you can do about it, but I just need to know it. You can do a study and try at least. Because I have questions whether it's a good thing or not. Alex Jones was banned years ago. I had questions about it. There are problems with Alex Jones. But when we get down the road of banning people, especially when they have a large following, what does that happen? Where do their followers go? Big tech is heavily invested in the Biden administration. Is that a conflict of interest? I mean, we have that problem across all industries, but that's a serious thing to look into. Is that a conflict? Can Joe Biden honestly make the right moves to help or manage or influence Congress to make changes with big tech, if big tech is huge in his cabinet, or funding him indirectly or whatever, if they have that much influence with him, can he be an honest, independent actor? And it's not just Joe Biden. We have these conflicts all over DC. I guess that's why we wouldn't see a commission in this manner. Not one that was not one that was meaningful. If they did a commission in this manner that I'm speaking, they probably would do one that just said Orange Man bad 100,000 times. Where is the person? I heard no one. There was a couple people who kind of touched on this. Marco Rubio did, when he said, I have friends who feel this way. And he kind of said they kind of feel similar to a lot of people who were at the not just the people who rushed the Capitol, but people who even came to see Donald Trump yesterday. Why don't we? I heard no one say, let's work to build a bridge of communication to people of all background beliefs, including people who support Donald Trump. No one. I heard no one. Why can't a Democrat say that? Instead of working on impeachment when he has 2 weeks left. They would rather work on impeachment than say, let's figure out, how do we build that bridge? How do we build a bridge to connect? Because obviously we are not connecting with these people. Now, I know the way politics is, their goal is not to connect with these people. So why can't someone come up and say it? We have no leaders out there. There's no attempt to build a bridge of communication. Black people, that's what we want, right? We just want a bridge of communication. Let's fight this for the same for any situation, any person that's hurting like this, especially when it's this many people. Part of the commission, maybe you can study, I don't know if this is legal or not, but studying the background and the stories of some of these people who actually went out there. Did they lose loved ones in 2020? We had a lot of loss in 2020. Did they lose a business? How many lost businesses? What are the things that triggered them? Was it health care? They got in debt because of health. Whatever it is, there are things that triggered this. Let's investigate it. Put the election aside. Put Trump aside. Let's look at this like adults. I don't think we need a third party. I really don't. I think at some point I was thinking, we need more political parties. I don't think we really need that. I think we need, because politicians don't listen to people. Did you see the Mitt Romney video that went viral where there was a woman who was aggressive? This is odd. Mitt Romney was just at an airport by himself, sitting in a handicap chair, but I didn't know senators rolled like that. But this woman came up to him with a camera. She was aggressive, but I think her questions, at least at first, were fair. And Mitt Romney kind of escalated things when he walked away and dismissed her. But my point of bringing this up is, and maybe I'll link it, Google it. I'll link it in a more prepared video. But my point is, Mitt Romney was scared to death of talking to her. She seemed like she was a MAGA supporter. And she asked Trump questions like, well, why don't you support the president? And it was clear to me, I know she caught Mitt Romney off guard, but it was clear to me, Mitt Romney's job is to talk to people. Like stop. He's a campaigner. This is what his job is. So he got caught off guard. And what my takeaway from that video was, he was not prepared to have a conversation with someone who supported Donald Trump. And I'm like, how can I, as a random person doing this as a hobby, be more prepared to have that conversation with that woman than he is? These people are so far removed from the reality of everyday citizens and how they feel, they can't govern us. They're too far removed from us. Mitt Romney, when she came up to him, he was scared to death. I wish a woman would come up to me, a MAGA woman, and ask me, why don't you just support Donald Trump? I would love to have that conversation. I would say, come on, sit down. Now, if he was in a hurry, if he was in a rush, I would say, hey, I got a plane to catch, but walk with me or whatever. I would have been like, sit down. Let's talk. I think about this every day. Obviously, he doesn't. And that's unacceptable because that's his job. All they do is grandstand. They're not doing anything productive for us. That's why I want them all expelled. They need to all be gone. Never go back in there again. But what we need is not a third party. We need a lobbying group. You people who write letters to congressperson, go to town halls. You saw what happened with Mitt Romney. I don't give a damn about you. What their language is money and influence. You writing a letter in a damn thing to them. We need not a third party, I don't know how to describe it, but a lobbying group with the power of the people you would want in that third party. So someone like Jimmy Dore has this People's Party. Forget that. Do a People's Party PAC or whatever, a lobbying group. So we can lobby both sides, apolitical. We lobby Republicans and Democrats. We don't want to hear any more of this orange man bad nonsense. We want to see action. We want to see change. They speak with money. If you're not talking money, you're not talking. Now, votes matter, but it's just so hard. Like Ice Cube did don't vote for Joe Biden because of unless he agrees with this contract with Black America. I'll link a video up here. No, be apolitical. This is too hard to get a group to vote this way or that way. Regardless of how people vote, let's have a pact where we lobby both sides to support this. You got to put money into things. Voting is powerful, but it's not everything. There were more people who are going to have power, whether it's true or not, because you can say Trump was a fake populist. But there are going to be people who have this populist power beyond Trump. So whether this action from yesterday destroys Trump or not, who cares? It will not destroy populism. That will stay, in my opinion. What I'm not hearing are steps in place down the road to protect the sanctity of our institutions if we have someone who has that power. Donald Trump did nothing illegal. He just had power and influence with people. That ain't illegal. So how do we protect the sanctity of our institutions, not disparage people who believe whoever this person might be, but how do we protect the sanctity of things if that happens again? It will happen again, just a matter of time. I have given up hope because I've been really banking on we can fix this. We can fix this. No, we can't. I'm done with that. This is just my opinion. I'm completely done. If what happened yesterday doesn't change the perspective of politicians or change the perspective of people to put pressure on politicians to change their perspective, and it clearly has not. We're talking about impeachment next day. That's not the answer to this. So I'm giving up. That we are on a path of divide, and it ain't coming back. Just my opinion. So I think we need, number one, we need the economy, jobs. We need to avoid foreclosures, evictions, because that's only going to breed more people who have nothing to lose. And if it's not Trump, it's going to be something else. But so if the economy does not help it, then we need to have positive legal discussions about, if you're a married couple, sometimes you have to sit down and say, if we get divorced, what would it look like? Thanks for listening. Take care.